What's up, Entre Nation? Jeff here. Let me start this video by saying that right before I hit record, I was having one of those moments where I thought to myself, Jeff, absolutely, unequivocally, you are in no condition to shoot a video. It's late. I'm in Atlanta and it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I have to leave for the airport in like 3 hours. I haven't slept. I haven't packed. I have all this stuff I need to pack up, like all my video equipment, all my computer equipment, all this stuff that I brought with me. It takes a while to pack. It's like I have a lot to do, a lot else I should be doing, but the most important or the main reason I thought I shouldn't shoot a video right now is because I was gripped with this feeling of like, you know, you're tired. You don't have any good ideas right now. You don't have anything original to say. And then I thought, I remember a time before when I thought I didn't have anything to say. In fact, this feeling seems kind of familiar. It's every time that I used to go hit record and shoot a video. Probably the first 100 times, probably the first 500 times. In fact, come to think of it, it's just about every time that I shoot a video. I immediately proceed the video with an angst-ridden internal conversation around the fact that I'm dull, that I'm unoriginal, that I'm uninspired, and I have nothing to say. What if I had succumbed to that perspective? What if I had given in to my internal chatter that says that I don't have anything to offer, I don't have any value to give, it's not the right time, maybe later, maybe wait until inspiration strikes, right? That's called giving up. That's called being ordinary. That's called going with the flow. That's called allowing our subconscious to steer in our life. And that's what a lot of people do. It's what I did at times in my life. And if that were something that I allowed to govern my actions, no Entre, no 60,000 students, no movement starting to actually shake up the world, no Millionaire Secrets interview, no book in the works, no participating in the large-scale disruption of mainstream education, no thousands of lives changed. None of it exists if I don't develop the muscle, train the muscle that says when you think that you don't have value to offer, you try. You just do your best. You just give it what you can. You just offer what you have. And so maybe I'm right. Maybe I have nothing to offer. Maybe I have nothing to give. Maybe I have no value to share. But what I do have now is some history, some momentum, a little bit of traction, suggesting that if I just keep overcoming that fear, that's what it is. It's a fear. It's a shame. It's a painful self-awareness. And again, I have a recognition now that if I let that win once even, I risk, it's like falling off the wagon, like an alcoholic, let's say. I risk it taking over. I risk it letting the old normal become the new normal again, the re-normal, the normal of playing small, the normal of playing scared. I think the alcoholism metaphor is apt. I think most of us have an addiction. What's an addiction? An addiction is a neurological loop in our mind, something that is easier to fall into than to break out of, something that's a habit, something that's a pattern. I think most of us, for better or for worse, are addicted to playing small. We're addicted to, not small, safe. We're addicted to playing it safe. We do it over and over and over. It's comfortable. It keeps us in our lane, keeps us from disrupting the world around us. And so we keep doing it, right? We keep downing bottles of ordinary. We keep chugging average because to stop hurts. It scares us. It's painful. We have delirium tremors of possibility when we kick the sauce of letting fear and insecurity rule us. I can't stop now. Or I should say, I can't start again now because we've come this far. I don't think I've fully shared. I don't know that I could ever fully share the improbability of Entre existing. I don't think, I could, because you can't recreate a moment in time, but there was a moment in time when something almost broke inside me. Something buckled under a pressure, but it wasn't a buckle down, it was a buckle up. Something underneath burst out. And from that has grown Entre. From that has attracted, honestly, one of the most amazing operational teams ever assembled. I'm sure, all great companies have great histories of great. There's like, I don't know if there's like a SWAT team raid out there or something. There's like an alarm and there's like, says repeat, do not use elevators. I think there might be like a riot in the streets right now because of, I don't know, election related unrest, and they're telling you not to go down and not to let the vandals come up. I don't know. I'm in Atlanta right now. This is a whacked out city. I will say I'm in downtown Atlanta. The windows are all boarded up and there's sirens going on saying do not use the elevators. So I don't know if somebody bursts in right now and I get, if this is my last video ever, I hope at least it sees the light of day and my family knows that I love them. I think they know. I mean, I'm just saying that's pretty weird. Middle of the night, alarms, recorded messages saying don't use the elevators. Maybe there's a fire. Maybe it's a fire alarm. Let's go with fire alarm. Anyway, back on track here. I don't know that I'm gonna try to maintain my composure and delivery here, even with this crazy siren going on in the background. Try to block it out. If I can block it out, you can block it out. So anyway, the origins of Entre and the team that's come together. I mean, we have an 85 person team now powering Entre. It's grown from, I guess when I started making these videos, I had a little bit of a lingering skeleton crew from an old business, my agency that I'd sold. I don't know, it was maybe four or five people total. And now we have 85 people. I'll give you an example. Since from June of 2019, that was the first month that I locked myself in a hotel room for a week and I created the Entre Blueprint, the first course, the first training that Entre would actually promote to the market. From that month, from that month to this past month, so from June 2019 to October 2020, Entre's revenue has increased by 100 times. So 10,000%. We've grown our business 10,000% in 16 months because I didn't resume my addiction of letting fear and insecurity keep me from making videos, keep me from having conversations, keep me from delivering content to the world, keep me from trying to galvanize and reclaim the life and the independence and the individual self-determination and the possibility of a more fulfilled life for tens of thousands of people. None of that happens. 10,000% growth in 16 months. And I by no means do I take credit for it. I'll take credit for the spark. That's like a spark taking credit for a wildfire. It's not right. I was a spark, but that spark was a function of me not recoiling back to safety, but staying out there, staying exposed, frankly, staying courageous in the sense that I was scared, I was terrified. I knew that I was reaching for something that was out of my element, out of my league, but that I had to, because to not would be to resign myself to a future of saying, what if I had, what if I had done that? What could have been? And now I know the answer. Entre is what could have been. But if I hadn't done it, none of this exists. And I'd be on my deathbed decades from now going, what could have been if I just wouldn't have been such a timid little wuss? And I just would have made some videos and let the world know how I felt. Maybe some lives could have been touched. Maybe a message could have caught fire. I would have had no way to know that Entre is what would have been sacrificed, but I would know something. And I think you know that if you play it safe, if you play small, if you allow yourself to be constrained by the fears of judgment of others and the insecurities about what other people will think, if you put yourself out there and try to bring your message to life in the world, you know that something gets sacrificed, some potential. Take it from the guy who spent the last 2 years refusing to get scared and shrink back. The thing that would get sacrificed could have been very, very powerful, very, very big, could have made a very, very big impact in the world and touched a lot of people. And I promise you'll be glad. You'll be glad if you put yourself out there. Remember, I'm 11 minutes and 9 seconds into this conversation when I had nothing to say, no value to offer, no creativity to give. I'm tired, I'm burned out, I'm supposed to be doing other things. It's funny how when you just exhale and channel and reach for the inspiration that's out there, you'll find some words. Anyway, talking more about the origins of Entre. So when I started this, I had just sold my agency. Little did I know that about a year into that deal, they would go out of the company I sold it to would go out of business and stop paying me. So people have asked me why I'm in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta because I have these 2 properties that I bought 3 years ago, sunk a ton of money into, and haven't been able to get the money out. I'm out here trying to get them done. I won't bore you with the long saga, but a lot of money sunk into these 2 properties that I couldn't get out. It was a black hole. It sucked all the liquidity out of my life. So fall 2018, I have these properties. They're going south, sucking money out of my life. I have this deal I sold to the agency or to the software company, and then by 2019, they stopped paying me. So my cash flow gets cut off. My blood flow gets cut off. The money that I'm using to grow Entre gets cut off. I've got all my other most of my other liquid money sunk into these houses. The business that I had before, that kind of the ashes of which Entre grew out of, tapered off way faster than I ever imagined it would, because I had to make some structural changes to it. Long story short, I had a business that went from $1.1 million a month to $25,000 a month in just over a year. So summer 2019, when I launched the Entre training, again, one business had gone from 1.1 million a month to $25,000 a month, which was nothing considering I had payroll, I had staff. My agency that I had sold, I was getting paid between 50 and 100 grand a month. It was on a tiered payout, and then they went out of business. So July of 2019, that disappeared. So I have no cash flow coming in from that. And here's the thing that was the hardest thing about it. It wasn't just losing the money, and the burn rate of the operating cost was about $250,000 a month. So I'm literally sliding backwards by $200,000 a month at this point. And most of my assets that would have been my cushion were sucked up in these real estate deals in Atlanta that I'm still out here trying to close and pull the money back from. It was the stress of watching everything I'd worked for a decade unravel month by month, hundreds of thousands of dollars per month going the wrong way. And in that space, I had started this cadence of putting content out to the market, inspirational content, empowering content, being positive, telling the world the power of entrepreneurship, the power of self-belief, the power of knowing what you have inside you that needs to be breathed into the world and what that can do for your life. And yet the untold part of the story is that as I'm creating that content, you can go back and see it from September 2018 to summer 2019, a huge volume of content. And what nobody sees in the background is everything underneath me crumbling, the ground underneath me literally eroding away fast, $200,000 a month fast. By summer 2019, I'm in this existential place where I have a decision to make. Do I start cutting corners? Do I start, I don't know, maybe going to try and get a consulting gig, maybe go get a job? Do I completely abandon this mission of putting empowering, inspiring, and educational value out to the world? Or do I double down? Do I go all in? Do I cut off everything else that I'm doing in the world and focus myopically, obsessively, and even potentially self-destructively on seeing Entre through? My business partner, Adam, he's aligned with me. He's thrown all of his chips into what we're doing. I say we got to go for broke. My family, there's basically 3 people in the world that actually know what's happening at this time. It's my wife, it's my business partner, and it's my COO from Zurley, who's now a key member here at Entre. His name is Amber. 3 people in the world who know what I'm doing. And there's one thing I know about those 3 people. They believe I can. And there's a 4th person that believes I can. That's this guy. I know. I've been doing this a long time. I know the power of a vision. I know the power of belief. And what I knew more than anything is that exactly what was happening was exactly what was supposed to be happening. If it was getting really hard, if it was getting really terrifying, if it felt like my dreams were slipping away from me or ripping out from my grasp, it was exactly because that was what was supposed to happen. Because I was supposed to prove to the universe, to the people that believed in me, and to myself that I deserved to come out the other side. That's why hard things happen. That's why you have to court the hardship in your life, is because it's how you prove that you deserve what's on the other side of it. And I knew summer 2019 that I was supposed to push through. Remember, 10,000% growth in 16 months since the circumstances that I'm describing to you were the reality of my life. And by the way, we're exploding. That rocket ship hasn't even cleared the atmosphere yet. Entre is a movement that is taking over the world. I mean, look, I'm not delusionally grandiose. We're doing big things. And none of it happens if I give in to fear. And what I realize now is that I was being served a massive helping of fear, a dose of fear that would choke most people, precisely because there was something so great on the other side of it. But the only way you get what's so great is when you prove to yourself and the world that you deserve it, because you can handle the pressure and the rigor of what it takes to get there. That's why it all happened. And somehow, in some deep, limbic way in my body and in my lizard brain, I knew that it was supposed to be that hard. And that's why I kept going. And I encourage you to go watch the videos from that time, because there was no break. I never broke stride. You will see no cracks in my armor. You will see no resignation in me that I'm starting to slip. I'm starting to give in. I'm starting to go to the dark side. No, because I know the power of this kind of belief and this kind of commitment and this kind of production. You got to do the work. You got to execute. You got to create. You got to deliver. So many people have passion. I could walk down on the street here, walk into any bar, and there's going to be 20 people in there with all kinds of passion. They're not producing anything. I was producing content every day, and it was good content, well-researched content with original ideas, with deep value, with a lot to share. It took a lot to do that when all around me, Rome was burning. But I knew that's what's supposed to be. So my question to you, 19 minutes and 27 seconds into this video, is what's supposed to burn in your life that you're supposed to endure and you're supposed to come out the other side of, to prove to the world and to yourself that you deserve the very, very rare and special gift of all your dreams coming true on the other side. It's a rare thing. Not many people get it. Most people don't. It's the law of the universe. Go through all of human history, every civilization, every political system, every economic system, every political party, doesn't matter who's president. It's always true that a very few people get all their dreams to come true. And it's always on the other side of some sort of crucible that they endured and that they forged through and that they persisted through. And it's always wrapped up with a story where people go, you know what? Most people wouldn't have made it. Most people wouldn't have seen the other side. That's how it's supposed to be. So what is it that has to burn? What is it that has to crumble in your life so that you know that you deserve what's on the other side? And what is it that you have to produce while it's happening? That's the litmus test. That's the boot camp, is that while it's happening, while you're burning your boats, while your life is separating from the old and from the old normal, and you're creating this new life, that through it all you're producing perhaps more than you ever have in your life. You're doing work at a level that's unprecedented in your life, while the people around you are going, I don't even know how you're getting out of bed. When you're operating at that plane, that's when you can come out the other side and say, whatever riches this world has for me, I've earned them. And it's the best feeling in the world. And it's rare. And I want it for you. I really do. I should pack. Thanks for your time.